Okay, we are back. Welcome back to the Daily Wrap. You know, Mr. Trump's been out there having a good time barnstorming around the country, but in an Instagram posting yesterday, Trump says the president and the Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, ex-Secretary of State, were having a little too much fun. Well, okay. Our very own Steve Malzberg got to talk to Donald Trump today, where the GOP frontrunner refuted claims that Fox News chief Roger Ailes threatened to go to war with him over his feud with Megyn Kelly.
Someone from Fox had to leak this, that Roger Ailes said to you, we resolve this now or we go to war. Is this Roger Ailes trying to say he laid down the law to you?
No, that story was a false story. Roger couldn't have been nicer. He called me up and he actually said, is there any way we can get this thing done? Because, frankly, he didn't. He could not have been nicer. And Roger knows that's not the way to talk to me, because if people talk to me that way, you know what happens.
So, to watch the rest of that exclusive interview with Donald Trump, and I have, and you're not going to want to miss it, be sure to watch the Steve Malzberg Show right after the Daily Wrap at 7 o'clock and later at 10 o'clock Eastern tonight if you can't catch it on the first run. Now, while Trump surges, the latest Pew survey finds that the number of Republicans viewing the party favorably has dropped considerably in the last 6 months, going from 86% to 68%. It looks like the establishment wants something new out of the Republican Party. Heather, what do you think that's all about?
Well, I think that because of Donald Trump, he's raised so many issues, and yet he's sort of drowned out any talk about the policies. So he himself has not brought forth any policies. I have a hope that he does in his talk with Steve tonight, but we haven't heard a lot of policy from him. And then the people who did bring up policies at the debate, for example, I know Marco Rubio had some true policies. It gets drowned out by the talk about Megyn Kelly and the talk about Rosie O'Donnell and all of the sexier things. And I think people are frustrated by the state of the country and want some answers.
You know, the poll, though, does still surprise me, only because it's not like the Democrats are finding themselves in the driver's seat exactly with the problems that Hillary Clinton, the frontrunner, is having. You would think that people would be feeling some comfort in the Republican Party, and instead Republicans are not feeling very good about their party, Nomi.
You know, the facts are there's a demographic split. There's a huge demographic split that you cannot ignore in the Republican Party, and that's going to play out over the next 10 years. You're going to see more of the silent minority of the Republican Party being alienated by the majority that really wants to win a general election. There was an op-ed today in the Daily Kos, of all places, by a former George W. Bush administration economist who said that the Republican Party has been failing in that they have been speaking to the small minority, and they're going to continue to fail over the next 10 years. It's a really fascinating op-ed because you would never expect a number one of the Daily Kos.
And to our viewers who have no idea what the Daily Kos is because you don't read it, it is a very progressive liberal website. Joe, I don't know. I mean, people don't seem to realize we talk a lot about the schism in the Republican Party. Isn't there a pretty big schism right now in the Democratic Party where you have the Bernie Sanders, feel the burn progressives, and then you have what's left of Hillary's supporters?
Right. The Warren Sanders wing is where all the enthusiasm is, and as Hillary Clinton's finding out quickly, as much as she tries to go to the left, no one's buying that she's actually that person that is left. Yeah. So yeah, that's where that schism is, and that was created by President Obama. He really did go left, and now that's where that party is. It's no longer the party of a Tip O'Neill.
Well, I don't know if the party's there, but
I
think there's a disagreement in the party. There are two sides of it, and that's going to create some trouble without Hillary. Let's move on here. Donald Trump told Breitbart today that he believes that Hillary Clinton will be knocked out of the race and that he'll most likely take on Joe Biden for the White House. Apparently, Trump is pretty certain he's the one who's going to win the nomination, while just about everyone else seems to be saying he can't pull it off. And that includes political guru and prognosticator Larry Sabato, who has a funny way of being right. So, Heather, let's just say that he does win the nomination. Can he beat Joe Biden?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, you just look at his approval numbers, and it's hard to believe that he can. I know that he has a strong audience, and I know that there's a lot of people who love him, but there's more people who don't like him. And when you come to the general election, you're dealing with those people. So I think that he would have a real trouble.
See, now I know what Nomi's answer is going to be because she's the world's biggest Joe Biden fan.
I know.
But now, what we don't know yet, we're looking at Joe Biden's numbers, and I got to tell you, his numbers are higher now without even being a candidate than they were when he actually ran for president 8 years ago.
But he's also, been in the vice presidency
well,
for the past 8 years.
That's right. And that maybe is a good thing.
Yes.
Maybe for some people it's not a good thing.
I think
what will his unfavorables be if he should announce? I mean, we judge Trump by his unfavorables.
I think it depends. That's a very different comparison to comparing Trump to Joe Biden. I think it depends on when he announces. If he announces very, very late, like all the way up until the debates begin for the Democrats in October, then he has more time to prove himself. He does very well in debates, and he's very good with Republicans. So I think that the unfavorables will be much lower. He'll just have to fight against Obama.
What do you think, Joe?
Everybody takes a side ultimately when the candidates are chosen, and in the end, I think Trump could beat a Biden. I really do.
You do,
Well,
really?
Yeah, because he's the stronger messenger, and he looks younger. I know, so there's only a 3-year difference between the two, and he could ride on his business background, and people would just see in the end, do I want 4 more years of Obama, or do I want something new and fresh?
As McLaughlin would say, it's Biden, argument's over, to you, Joe.
Wrong, Joe.
Wrong, Joe.
Anyway, looks like Fred Barnes, by the way, used to be on that show. The cap that Donald Trump has been wearing at campaign stops with his Make America Great Again slogan has become a sensation. In fact, sales of the Trump cap are off the charts. We can't even get one here. And now you can get your very own Make America Great Again cap, a $25 value, free with a special offer. Just pay shipping and handling. Just go to newsmax.com/Trump cap or call 1-800-485-4350. Coming up next, a Christian clerk in Kentucky refuses to give marriage licenses to gay couples. Stick around.